So I'm done working out. Officially done until my next competition. 7 weeks of sitting on the couch. Well, I'm not done working out. I'm not going to lift a weight. I'm not going to lift a weight. I'm not going to use a band. I will come in so rested, so fresh. I might even be fast. Won't that be a surprise when you see a fast version of me? And people think I'm not fast. You know why? Because I normally am training so much. You know what happens when you slow down your training a little bit? You start to get some snap. That's why Travis was always quick, because he never did anything. He just came in and hit. Okay? There's great reasons to train. There's great reasons to rest. Being a champion arm wrestler is about being your best you. Okay, a big part of that is rest when you're peaked. When you look to the future and you're building something, you must train. You must work to build the future. But when you want to be your greatest self, you gotta be like that doggy over there. Just rest. Just rest. Kensai training system is what I call it. Whatever. I used this in the past. A lot of people think I'm lying about this system of me not lifting weights. I'll explain it to you briefly so that you kind of get it. So Kensai, it's a cute little name. Why did I call it Kensai? I used to play Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. Actually, a ton of fun. I loved Dungeons and Dragons when I was young. I was normally I remember the first game of Dungeons and Dragons I ever played. I was a cleric. And my brother was a fighter. That was the last time that we were ever those classes. After that, I was a fighter every time. And he was always a magic user. I was some kind of fighter, but whatever. Anyways, I'm getting off track. Later on, all those Dungeons and Dragons games, they had different editions and different books. And they had like an Oriental version or something where there was samurais and ninjas. And there was Kensai. Kensai is a specialist. Kensai is a weapon specialist. So instead of like every time you go up a level, you can now use a long bow, you can now use a long sword, you can now use a fucking mace, whatever. Every time you just double down, triple down, get better with a sword, better with a sword, better with a sword, better with a sword, until you're like this extreme sword just genius. Okay, so it talks about specialization, Kensai. And that's what it spoke to. When you talk about this form of training, it's intense specialization. It's specialization to a degree that's much more so than is normal for a lot of people. A lot of people, when they're doing their training, it's a lot of gym, it's a lot of full body, whatever, you're doing your lifts. For the most part, I'm a very specialized athlete. When I break into Kensai, it's like as specialized as you can possibly be. You're not doing anything but table time. A lot of great athletes from the past have done it, most notably perhaps John Brzee. Pure table time. Pure table time. It's an interesting state to get into. Trained state. Very precise. More rested. When you're rested, you can hit. You can hit. That will be vital for me with Gennady. I think, give up a little bit of endurance for the ability to hit. It's going to be a close fight. Everything counts. 7 weeks, I will hit a different club every day for the next probably 4 weeks or so, maybe 5, maybe 2 weeks rest. I will destroy you, Gennady. I'll destroy you without even any weight lifting. I love watching you lift weights. I love watching your heavy wrist curls, your heavy bicep curls. None of it's going to matter. You're going to face a guy who's arm wrestled every day. That's all. That's it. All your fancy stuff. I call it fancy. It's really not that fancy. And your exercises are dumb. I'm sorry. You're very impressive. but your exercises are dumb anyways. They're not that frightening. Okay, the weight's good. The weight's very good. It's how I used to train probably, oh God, 15 years ago. Will be probably my biggest victory in my mind. In my opinion, modern day Gennady, I, regardless of what results have happened in the past, I see him as better than Dave, better than Jerry, better than Michael, better than John, better than Richard Lepke's, better than any right-handed champion I've won against in the past. So it's a very meaningful victory to me, and thank you. Thank you, Gennady. Thank you, Engen. Thank you, East versus West. Thank you, East versus West.